Hello everyone. I hope you all are fine and doing well in your life. My name is Shaheen Nas and I started making videos about histories of English literature. And this is my first video which is about Greek literature because Greek literature and Roman literature have great influence on English literature. So today's topic is very important before starting English literature series. So let's start our topic. Greek literature. Greek literature basically started from 800 BC to 400 AD, and it is divided into two periods. The first period is called pre-classical period from 800 BC to 500 BC, and the second period is called classical period 500 from 500 BC to 400 AD. The important themes of Greek literature: myths, legends, folk tales, and religions. These are the most important themes of Greek literature. Next is a pre-classical period. Pre-classical period started from 800 BC to 500 BC, and in pre-classical period poetry was very famous, and Homer was the most famous epic poet of the pre-classical period. He was blind and his famous poetical works are the following. The first epic poem is the Iliad and the second is Odyssey. Okay, classical period started from 500 BC to 400 AD. First, classical drama. Drama has two types: classical tragedy and classical comedy. Classical tragedy was emerged in late 6th century BC and it was performed in the festival of Dionysus, god of wine and merriment. In classical comedy was developed with satire play, and it was based on mythological subject and it was considered inferior by Aristotle. Okay, now we talk about structure of classical tragedy, because classical tragedy was very famous at that time. Prologue. First, introduction and background of the play was given in the prologue. Paradox. More information about the stories was given in the paradox. An episode's main action is divided into 5 episodes, and in the Exodus, conclusion and God intervention is given in that part, Exodus. Greek tragedy writers. Now we'll talk about Greek tragedy writers. First is Aeschylus. Aeschylus was called the father of tragedy, and he wrote 70 to 90 plays, and he was famous for his Orestia trilogy. Trilogy is a series of 3 plays. Okay, so Orestia trilogy is a series of 3 plays, and these 3 plays are given below. The first one is Agamemnon, the second is Libations, and the third one is Humanities. So these 3 plays make a trilogy which is called Orestia trilogy. Okay, so this thing, keep in your mind that father of tragedy was called Aeschylus. The second tragedy writer is Sophocles. Sophocles was Aeschylus' contemporary writer, and he wrote 100 plays, and he was famous for Theban trilogy like Aeschylus. Theban trilogy is a series of 3 plays. Okay, the first play is Oedipus Rex, which is also called Oedipus Tyrannus and Oedipus the King. The first play has 3 names. Okay, and the second play is Oedipus at Colonus, and the third play is Antigone. So these 3 plays make a trilogy which is written by Sophocles, Theban trilogy. Okay, so this is very important trilogy. Okay, now the third one is Humanities. He wrote 90 plays, and he was compared to Socrates, and he was famous for his work which is given below, the Medea. Okay, now we revise the great tragedy writers. The first one is Aeschylus, the second is Sophocles, and the third one is Humanities. Okay, these are very important tragedy writers of its time. Classical comedy writers. The first one is Aristophanes. Aristophanes started old comedy in contrast with new comedy of Menander, and he satirized in real individuals and local issues, and his famous comedies are The Clouds and The Frogs. These two comedies are very famous by Aristophanes. Okay, so one thing always remember that he started old comedy. Okay, Menander started new comedy and he started old comedy. Okay, and he satirized individuals and local issues. These two things are very important about the Aristophanes. Okay, next one is Menander. Now Menander, one thing we have already discussed, that he started new comedy and he generalized situation, and he had stock characters against old comedy by Aristophanes. And these old comedies is about the personal style, and new comedy later developed into comedy of manners. Okay, so the first thing is that he started new comedy, and his new comedy with the passage of time later developed into comedy of manner, and he is famous for his two works, Dicaeus and the Samia. These two important works by the Menander, and Menander is a classical comedy writer. Okay, the next is classical period. Now we are moving classical poetry. Okay, classical poetry is divided into two categories. The first poetry is called epic poetry, and the second type of poetry is called lyrical poetry. And classical poets, the great classical poets, if we talk about Hesiod, the first one, and he was epic poet like Homer, and his famous works are Theogony and Works and Days. These two are important works, epic works by the Hesiod. Okay, the next is Pindar. Pindar was a lyrical poet, and he was famous for his odes. Actually, his odes are called victory odes because they celebrate winners in Olympics. So one thing always remembered about him, that he was also called a lyrical poet, and his odes are very important, and his odes are also called victory odes. Okay, and the third one is Sappho. Sappho was a lyrical poetess, and his poetical work is Ode to Aphrodite. Ode to Aphrodite, his lyrical work, and Sappho was a lyrical poetess. Okay, and the last topic is classical criticism. Plato. Plato was a student of Socrates, and he founded philosophical school called Academy, and he was famous for dialogues. Actually, his philosophy is in the form of dialogues, and these dialogues were usually between Socrates and others. Others actually are his were his students, and he wrote 36 dialogues, and among them 4 important are given below. The first one is Republic, Phaedrus, Ion, Gorgias. Okay, these 3 important dialogues by Plato. And the first one, Republic, is most important than the others. Okay, and the next is Aristotle. Aristotle was Plato's student, and he founded Lyceum Academy like his teacher. Okay, Plato, and he was the teacher of Alexander the Great. Actually, he was a student of Plato, and he was the teacher of Alexander the Great, and his famous works are the following. The first one is Poetics, Rhetoric, and Nicomachean's Ethics. These 3 important works by the Aristotles. I hope you like my videos. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so you can get notification of my each new videos. Please subscribe my channel, share and like it. Thank you so much.
Oh, let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in the dark, so won't get lost now. To the moonlight